Sandy Parker. Welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to do what I think is a really cute take on, I had made a table decoration out of this little hat idea, and then I decided it'd be really fun to turn it into a little ornament. So this one still isn't dry yet, but that's our concept and what we're going to be doing today. And it is number 8 in our series of totally terrific tags and trimmings, and it's going to be fun. What we're going to start with, and all of these products should be easily available to you. This is glittery foam that I got at, I think you can guess where, the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. There was a pack of them. I think there was like 8 pieces of it in there, and I used just anything to draw a circle. And the size of the circle really doesn't matter, because in the end what I ended up doing is cutting it down significantly, because every time I started to think I had a plan, I changed it up, and I just kept making it smaller and smaller. So the size you start out with and the size you end up with will probably be a lot different. So I'm just warning you that it doesn't matter what size your beginning circle will be. If that makes any kind of sense to you. I learned a lot of things from making that. This is totally my own idea. I've never seen anybody else's, so I don't know if anybody else has ever made it. So with that in mind, what I did was used in the first batch, I used this paper, but I also cut out like a third of it to get rid of it, because it made it too bulky. So I'm going to show you how I did it, and then I'm going to show you why I kept changing it. So what you do is you turn it like this to make it into a hat. I've seen people do it and it looks like a tree. So because of that, then what I did is I ended up cutting almost completely half of it off. Ooh, I'm losing some stuff. Then when you make you spin it around again, and you decide if your circumference is too big, not big enough, whatever for you. And then I realized I had way too much extra, so then I did this and I cut off more like that. It's pretty good as far as the distance around, but then I didn't think that the bottom was straight enough, so then I messed with the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do with this, is I'm going to straighten out the bottom. You can see where I'm going with why it doesn't matter how big you start with. I just kept messing with it until I was happy with my finished circle, I guess is what we're going to say. It wasn't really a circle in the end. At one point I had it flat and made it into a completely different size or shape, and that didn't work for me either. So just let me forewarn you, play with it until you like it. Here's another thing that I kept doing, and I'm just going to help you with this. If I was you, I would keep cutting off your excess. Because this is foam, it really became bulky for me, and so that's why I just kept cutting stuff off. So now you know how to do it and how to keep cutting crap off to get it the way you like it. Then what I did, and this is tacky glue, I just put it on a paintbrush, and I painted the inside on that one side, and then I did this. I put my string, I knotted my string. Oh, that's another thing I learned. I used the elastic cord on it the first time. That wasn't the best plan, and I'll tell you why. Because it kept changing up on me as far as it kept moving in the top. It kept changing the opening of my hat, and I did not want the opening to keep changing, so I had that problem. That was, one of my many problems I had with this project. But I will tell you that I don't recommend the string for that. Not string. I don't recommend the cord. And then I'm going to make a longer loop than I made on that one because I didn't think that my loop was long enough, and so that's why I decided this time to make a longer loop. So you're learning that little secret from me. Then what you do is you're going to take it and you're going to roll. The top is the most important part. You're going to roll your top section so that you have as tight of a point. I'm going to cut off a little bit more in my top section. Now you're going to see why I just keep cutting and cutting and cutting. I couldn't make it. I just couldn't make myself happy with this. That, spun it until I was happy with that part. And then once I was happy with that, I took a clothespin and I clothespin the bottom. Now you can see at the top of this one, I'm going to need to either glue it better. I think I'll glue it better. And then I took my little cloth, I wiped off the excess that came out of the top, and then I also put a clothespin on the top too. Then what I did, I took the foam. It's foam glitter paper it's also a sticker. You get it at Michael's, and I only use it for projects that involve belt buckles, so it's going to last me forever. And all I did was I cut a little square with a little line in the middle out of it based on the width of my ribbon. You follow that? I hope you can see that. Okay. Then all I did after that was I turned it over and I painted the back with glue. Now I know you're thinking, geez, oh man, look at all the glue she's got on that brush. Yeah, it's true. I've got a crazy amount of glue going on right there. And then after I do that, I even put glue on the back of the sticky belt buckle just because I wanted to make sure that my belt buckle and my whole belt was going to stay on my project. And I put a lot of glue on, and it really, because of that glitter, it really needs a lot of glue. Then I took and I wrapped it so that the end of it, I wanted to be right where that seam is. So I did that so that the seam and the end were one. And then I just throw this out. Ugh. Then I wrap that around. So I tried to line it up so that my seam of my foam right there and the end of my ribbon were at the same place. Okay, so then I'm just gonna line up. I know I have glue everywhere, but it's a glue that's going to dry clear. Now I'm going to take my little clothespin off there, and I'm going to move it back to where the ribbon is. My clothespin moves a lot. What I did was I took a 1 3/4 scallop circle, I punched out 2 of them, and then I glued them together with the same tacky glue. Then, and this is for the people who wanted to find out if I can use the crocodile, the one that punches holes, and I can use it, and I'll show you how I use it. What I do is I hold it like this so that it is on the table surface I'm using. Then I just punch wherever it is I'm shooting for, and I think in this case I'm shooting for the center hole, and voila, I punched a hole. I have not had trouble doing it, but as I said, if I didn't use the table, I probably would not be able to do it because this is a pretty serious tool. It's not for the faint of heart. I do like it. I think it's a great tool, but using it with a surface like this. And I did promise my friend from the Swiss Alps that I would do a video where I used the crocodile, and that is not the only time I'm going to use it. I'm also going to be doing one where we do some brads and some eyelets. So, oh, let me tell you what I'm doing now. My string that I put through the top, I strung it all the way down, and I probably started out with something like 18 inches, probably way more than I needed, but you know, better safe than sorry. And I'm making sure what you want to do at this point is you want to make sure that the bottom of your ornament is as straight as you can get it. And I can see right now I have some issues with straightness. You want to make sure, if it's at all possible, that the piece is in fact as close to that as you can get it. As close as flat as you can get it. So we're going to take and we're going to make a knot in the bottom. I also put the clip back on this, and this time the reason I'm doing it is I don't want my circle that's hanging out the top, I don't want it to shoot out through the bottom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to thread my bell. There it is. How lucky. Then what I did when I did it before, I took my crocodile and I did another hole as close as I could get it to the first hole. Then the reason I did that, it was the only way, and I know that there's a lot of you going, oh geez, there's so many better ways you could have done that, but I couldn't figure out a better way. So honestly, if I could have thought of a better way to do this, I would have. Here's what I did, is I just put the thread back. Then what I did before was I tied the two strings that are down there. I tied them together and made a knot. Okay, well that did not go through as much as I want it to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my string up through more. Then I'm going to cut it off inside, and then I'm going to pull it up through like that, and then we're going to make sure that it's tight. And then after that, what I did before was I ran a layer of glue all the way around the little inside of the hat, and then what I did is I glued it and I stuck it like that. It does take a little while for it to set up, and when I did this before, what I did was I'm re-sticking that on there. What I did when I did this before is I really worked on putting as much glue on it. I'm going to have to glue this a little bit better too. My little string does not want to stay. I put more glue on the base. I'm just going to cover this with glue so that you can see how I did the snow. And I have this color, flower soft is what it's called. And I like it. I never play with it much, but I do like it, especially for projects like this one, where you can really 3D it up with stuff that looks like fake snow. So we're going to do that. We're going to put a little bit of fake snow into our project, and I'm going to lay it back down. And that didn't work. My last one did work with the glue, but I decided to whip out my Satan tool. You know me and the glue gun. I'm a little scared to use it for a project like this because I'm never very confident with my glue gun, but I decided that if I just wiggled it around, I wouldn't end up actually touching it that much, and I might not burn the crap out of myself. Might not. You heard that. Might not burn the crap out of myself. I'm hoping that I can get this thing set down just right so that I don't have the problems I've had in the past with the glue gun. There, I did a little song for you. We'll call it Sandy's Glue Gun Medley. And so the glue gun is the way to go with gluing that bottom on. I thought it probably was, but you know how I'll do anything to avoid the glue gun. So let me bottom line it for you. Here it is, our little ornament. If you'll recall, I'm gonna bring in my other project that we did. I think that they're really cute. They're teeny tiny, and I think they'll be great on a tree. They're cuter than anything and easy to make, so I would recommend you give it a shot and try it out. That was our totally terrific tags and trimmings number 8, and I so appreciate you watching. Please give me the thumbs up, that is the thumb, and subscribe and tell your friends about it. We have some great new trimmings coming up. One is that tag that we did with the tree that I'm going to turn that into an ornament. So I'm doing a little bit of mix-up, we'll call it, with the projects we've done in the past. And we do have still the pillow for the little girl yet to do. And other than that, we've got some other cool projects lined up. I do have, and this is a big one, I'm going to be doing an actual journal. Well, I guess that's what you call it. It's like a mini scrapbook, but it's a journal that you put photos and things in. I don't know what they call those. I'm going to call it a journal. But anyway, I'm going to be doing one of those for my girlfriends, and I hope you'll stick with me for that one. That's going to be a big one, and I'm excited about that one. I've been working on it already. But please subscribe and check in with me again. Got lots of things planned for the next couple weeks. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.